Taylor's legacy collection, looking back on guitars from the past, grows with a new introduction, a guitar near and dear to our hearts. It's the rebirth of the 914 CE. We'll tell you all about it. Stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. If you want to support the channel, you can visit our spring store link below for custom swag and check out the podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts at. And, you know, I always know that there's a kind of the intro bumper that runs while I say all of that. So what no one knows is that we do a bunch of dancing and stupid stuff behind the camera. Unless you see it this time because I just said something about it. So
who knows?
This is a Legacy 914 CE launching right now from Taylor. It's a new model in the Legacy lineup. I'm excited for it to be here. If you're unfamiliar with what's going on with the Legacy collection, it's now part of kind of a four-part plan from how the guitar production's laid out at Taylor. You've got your standard models, your Builder's Edition models, your gold labels, and your legacies. And the legacies are the first time Taylor has actually kind of done a reissue of any sort. So we've got 810s, 815s, 855s, all based upon 80s models. We've got a 514 CE, 714 CE, both cedar top, based upon 90s models. And here again, this would be a late 90s model guitar because I own one of these, and they changed it up in 2001. So this particular specification, including the size of the rosette, and the layout and everything, would basically be about from 98 to 2000.
The golden era of the 914.
The golden era.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I get to start holding it because I own one. And
yes.
And I'm not going to say that it's my fault that these came out or I have any credit to take in it. We did some really cool 914s that were V-class and based upon Engelmann Spruce and the inlay, kind of harkening back to my guitar as an inspiration. And when they first did the Legacy collection, I did a interview with Bob, which you may have seen on this channel, where I had my 914 hanging behind me while I was at home nursing a broken foot. And I did mention to Bob, hey, you should do a Legacy 914. I'm sure he already had it in the works. I'm sure. And if not, checks in the mail, right?
So it was like maybe last year at some point that we made a video that you were like, say goodbye to the 914.
Yeah.
Because as right now, there has been no Spruce Rosewood 914.
There's no standard 914 at all. There's Builder's Edition models.
Yeah. So we got a Sinker Honduran pearled out, really pretty Builder's Edition version of this guitar. But that, made us say farewell to the standard 914, which we always really liked. Mm-hmm. But based on the exclusive models that we've done, this is a little bit more what I think we both think a 914 should be, with the Engelmann top, the Cindy inlay, just kind of the right aesthetic package. And now we've got it in a Legacy collection, X-braced, very old school Bob Taylor kind of vibe, which I love it. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, any fans of Dave Matthews should recognize this. He had 3 of them, one with a Florentine cutaway. I had mine first, as I like to say, so Dave plays the guitar that Chris plays. And I've been a big fan of this. Now, when in the initial lineup back in the 90s, what separated this was not just the very beautiful inlay that came on these guitars, but also the fact that the top material was different. And we've talked about that a little bit. Engelmann Spruce, which we chose to use on those exclusives that we did, is a little softer than Sitka. It's got a little bit of a rounder tone, a really nice chiminess to it. I think a lot of volume, but it's really responsive to fingerstyle guitar and still far exceeds cedar or, Sinker redwood if you want to strum it and get some, really good volume out of it, which is what I love about that particular top wood. And for a lot of reasons, it used to be used as kind of the premium wood from Taylor. It's what you saw in Presentation Series and 900 Series guitars. And they haven't been using it very much just because of the supply of them. They tend to be smaller trees, you get less yield, sometimes there's run out, all sorts of things. And so it's become one of those things where you only see it with Taylor a lot of times if it's a special edition or if it's a custom guitar.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that. So that's what always separated this, along with the aesthetics. And I was telling you this before, I looked at it as a rosewood-lover's guitar. It's rosewood back and sides. It's bound in rosewood with beautiful redwood purfling that's made to come back here. And you've got rosewood binding, rosewood bound on the headstock. It's just a beautiful guitar with that Cindy in it. So.
Yeah, that's the guitar that I think a lot of people think of. Obviously, 814 is the flagship, but this is such a cool slight step up that is now here without having to go sinker top Honduran, go crazy with the, builder's edition kind of thing. That's a fantastic guitar too, but if you like the spruce rosewood and just kind of want a more premium version, this one is here, and it's also, I think, caters to certain Taylor fans that still like the X-bracing, really like the legacy stuff that they've done so far, but want a little bit more luxurious sort of version of that. Or people that are like, man, which we see and hear all the time, is like, well, back in 2000, I really wanted a 914, but I couldn't afford it at the time. And, it's cool. We were talking with Monty here, and a lot of people that lusted after certain Taylor guitars back in the day, they want one, but they want a new one.
Right.
And, I think that's sort of a difference sometimes between Martin and Taylor is people love Taylor for who they are now, for the manufacturing and the vibe that they've got, and they want a new version of the guitar that they really loved 25 years ago.
Well, so let's put this in consideration. This is a 914 CE with the X-bracing that you talked about, scalloped X-bracing in the classic design. It's got the Taylor neck joint that's been in production since about 2000. Yeah. An interesting anecdote about my guitar was it was braced with the shelf to be milled out for the new neck, but then it got a classic neck put on it. So I don't have shims on my guitar.
Yeah.
And that guitar got stolen. I ended up getting it back, but in the meantime, I bought a replacement for it, and I found a 914 from the same year built later in the year. So I think mine was built in like March, and then the one I ended up replacing it with was built in September, and it did have the new neck on it. And so time frame, because they changed in 2001, I don't know how many are out there that are that classic guitar with that new style neck, what was the NT neck at the time, that was built in the last few months of the year. And so that's another reason people are often wanting a new guitar, because you get those improvements.
Yeah.
You get all of this. I love that they're doing the LR Bags pickup, so it's not an ES pickup. It's following the pattern laid out in the Legacy collection. And it sounds really good.
It sounds awesome.
We should take a listen. Okay, we're just going to revisit that. You just, right before we came back, you're like, was your sat neck too? I said, yeah. And you said, not anymore. And that's a true statement. It is very shiny and glossy from 25 years of playing that guitar.
Which is how it should be.
That's how it gets, yeah. So, there are a few changes on this that are a little bit different from mine, but for the most part, the original recipe is there and intact. We remarked before we started rolling earlier about the redwood purfling that was on these guitars and was one of the features called out in those old red catalogs back in the day. Yeah. They're beautiful guitars, and I think they have a really strong fan base. It helps that there's been a number of very famous musicians that have used this model or 912s or 910s and really helped cement this beautiful Cindy inlay that is kind of like elegant but not over the top. It's like a vine, but it's also like a marker position inlay. That works really well. So I'm excited to see it.
And it's just another kind of it's an interesting time for Taylor right now. Last year we had all the 50th anniversary stuff, and it was very geared towards that. And then since the 50th anniversary is over, we've really seen Andy doing his thing, Bob doing his thing, and you kind of get to see outside of like we're working together on this 50th anniversary lineup. It's like this is what Bob wants to do right now, along with some other stuff. We showed you some 810 changes. That's really cool. It's legacy stuff using, like Chris said, the more modern internal build to remake the legacy, like the real classic guitars. And then Andy's got gold labels, builder's editions. It's really interesting, fun time for Taylor right now.
I think one thing about it is you can say that Taylor is producing things that appeal to a bunch of different guitar players. When V-Class came out, the volume that it produced and a bunch of other stuff, a lot of people really love those guitars, have loved those guitars. We've sold a ton of them. I think it's a great bracing profile. Not everyone liked them. And some people, missed the classic, Taylor bracing that they did. So it's great to see these come back around. Also, the aesthetic choices on these guitars are different. So there's a lot of people like myself that really like that. It's kind of like any other brand. There's certain classic models that work on their own. The rest of the Legacy collection, I think, addresses that. This is another one of those. You wouldn't want to do a Legacy everything, right? But this is certainly a model that you want to highlight. So
absolutely.
I'm glad it's available. This is the first one. We got this as an early example of it, so we could shoot this video. And once this is gone, like the rest of the Legacy collection, I'm guessing it will take a bit for them to come in. So if you are interested in this model, you want to let us know ASAP. You can do so on our website,
alamomusic.com.
And you can message us. You can, while this one's available, you can purchase it online if you want to. It's a beautiful guitar. You never know what's going to be coming down the pike. Opening up the Legacy collection allows for a lot of different period interpretations, which I think is a lot of fun.
Totally.
So let us know what you think in the comments below about the choice of the model, the aesthetics, and the sound that you heard. I'm like I said, I love this model. It's why we made a version of it, and I'm glad it's back. I'd like to see what you guys think. If you're new to our channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos, and keep coming back for more. We'll see you next time.